This is Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars with Trevor Long and Stephen Fennick. Thanks to NRMA Insurance and Uniden.
That's right, NRMA Insurance, a help company helping Australians protect what matters most for almost 100 years. NRMA Insurance is one of the largest insurers of electric vehicles in Australia. So if you're looking for insurance for your EV, give NRMA a call and Uniden Smart Dash Cams. Great to have their support because, you know what, if you've got a brand new, beautiful, spanking good electric car, get yourself a dash cam. What are you doing? Yeah, so you know what happens, you're protected, and you've got that peace of mind of being able to prove what happened if it is your word against someone else's. Stephen Fennick, great to have your company, mates.
G'day, Trev. How are we doing?
We're very good. There's a lot of calls to come.
Bit of news about.
We've got calls to come. 0477 657 657. If you want to get in touch anytime, we'll take your texts and we'll try and line you up for a chat on Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars.
Can we start with your favourite vehicle?
Yeah, sure.
You love the Cybertruck, don't you?
Oh, such a fan. Having just come back from America, it is still one of those things we go,
there's
you still do point them out, for sure.
Yeah,
because they stand out ugly, ugly
They took a while to come out, and they're finally out. But guess what? They're the subject of yet another recall. Another recall. It's in this calendar year, it's become the most recalled vehicle.
In 1 year?
Yeah. In several years. So
yeah, right.
There's problems with the electrical side of things. I think one of the problems was potential loss of torque.
That's not good.
When you're driving.
You're just like, there's no that's one of the key advantages of an electric car is the torque.
Yeah,
punch off the line.
If the accelerator pedal fails, you're thinking, oopsie.
Well, their original recall was for the accelerator pedal, which was coming off too.
Yes. So this is the sixth time this year. Six, count them, six. That it's been recalled.
Wow!
And the sudden loss of propulsion, increasing the risk of an accident, is another one. So this is not a small vehicle either. This is a beast. This is a big stainless steel car. So this has got some weight behind it. You wouldn't want to be driving this knowing that there are potential problems and it could be a potential danger to other cars and other people on the road.
And the thing is, the car wasn't rushed to market.
No.
We were in Korea.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
When it was, and we were on their way to the airport as it was being announced, and Elon was throwing something at the window to get it smashed and smashed. It took therefore 5 years to come to market.
More. Yeah. Was it 3?
6, 7 nearly.
About 5.5. Yeah, about 5, 6 years.
So the car wasn't rushed.
Yeah.
In terms of its production, its creation.
Yeah.
And yet they have all these problems. And the other thing that's, I think, surprising about this is they have a pedigree in cars. So they now know how to make cars, and they've had recalls. Oh, let's be clear. All companies have recalls.
Yeah.
Toyota's had plenty of recalls, biggest car company in the world. I've got a recall for my Kia over there. It's just a software update that's required.
Yep.
Something to do with the autonomous emergency braking system.
Yeah, I had a couple when I had my Model S. I had 2, I think, in the time I had drove.
So recalls are not uncommon generally because it's an important safety factor. But for one
not 6
car
times a year,
to have 6 is phenomenal.
Yeah. But you're right. It seems, obviously, this is different to a Model 3 and a Model Y and a Model S. But
the fundamentals
basics are the same, aren't they? It is
losing
a big car.
torque. How does a car lose torque?
Yeah.
The fundamentals of a battery, a drivetrain, which is motors and the cabling between them. It's really nothing more than that.
Yeah.
A different size battery, different size motor. So it must be the physical motors must be a different model number to that of the
they are. They would be.
vehicles.
They would be different. But like you said, the technology that connects them all wouldn't be too different to the other vehicles.
Embarrassing.
It is a little bit. Imagine if you and these aren't cheap cars either. The Cybertruck is quite expensive. So imagine the frustration you'd have. Hello, I see Tesla again. We need to see the Cybertruck once more.
Some of their recalls, I think, were software that are done over the air, so you don't have to take it in.
Yeah,
which is. It's a fascinating thing. A software update can be a recall, and you don't actually have to go to the dealer. It can be done over the air, but it needs to be published as an update so that people are aware of it.
They need to register that you've actually done the update as well. They need to know.
But it's not a good look. It's not a good look for Tesla at all.
And it doesn't seem to be affecting. Like are they still selling pretty well? Like there's still a demand. There's still a fascination with them.
There's definitely a fascination.
And I think it's like what do I call it? It's like a trophy car. If you own it, It's sort of look. People think, look what I've got. So
Yeah,
it does
for
stand
sure.
out in the crowd, and you and I,
No doubt.
I have for sure. I've pointed them out. Oh, there's a Cybertruck.
I saw a couple in Texas that were wrapped. Not in. I've seen gold and silver ones wrapped, but
Yeah.
I saw one that was just wrapped in a nice blue.
Yep.
Another one that was wrapped in a like a matte, not matte black, but a satin black,
Yeah.
and they looked great.
Yeah.
The stainless steel looks horrible, to be honest. So I would definitely wrap it if I was going to get one,
yeah.
but I
You know
I
who
wouldn't
drives
get
one? You know Marquez Brownlee. You know the tech YouTuber. He's got one.
Yeah, mate. He's
He
got
had
a
a Model
Porsche,
S.
he's
He
got
had
a
a Model
Model-
S
yeah.
as well. He's probably got a Model S as well. But
He's got a Model S Plaid still as well. Yes,
as well. There you go.
I
Doing
don't think it's
very
the
well.
only car in his driveway.
But it seems to be the trendy. When they were first available, it was really trendy to have one.
Yeah.
Not so trendy, I think, now if they're being recalled every second
Yep.
month. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now, the other one, there's another new car on the market. I was at the electric vehicle show in Sydney a month ago before we went away, and I was blown away by the different brands there. Now, we know BYD, we know MG, we know XPeng. We've seen those before, and they're new. But there was a couple of others. One of them was Deepal.
Deepal.
And like multiple cars there, several cars there that, I mean, not a bad look. And they've finally announced the pricing on that. And this is a Model Y competitor, which will come in at 53,900 plus on road. So you're talking late 50s.
Yeah.
It's
Chinese brand. Okay, Chinese brand.
It's comparative, but if you're comparing the Model Y to a Deepal, and they come anywhere close on price, are you buying a Deepal?
No, of course not. No, so it reminds me of when phone companies tried to compete with Apple and Samsung.
Spot on.
If you got $1,500 to spend on a phone or $2,000 to spend on a phone, are you going to get an Apple or a Samsung or another brand?
Yeah.
Likely to be those others. And you're right. This has to compete not only on price but also quality. Coming in at that sort of price. It is. I looked the look of the car. To me, I call it as it's like an MG4 and a BYD Seal had a baby.
It's got a bit
reckon?
of. I'll say it's got a bit of Toyota RAV4 about it as well.
A little bit, but don't you reckon those headlights look a lot like the Seal?
Oh yeah, they look.
And the shape,
The rear end
body
looks
shape,
a lot like an MG4.
MG4. Yeah, the shape of the back there is.
And the pointed front, the sharp edge front, looks a little bit like the MG4.
I've got to say, not a bad looking car.
No, not a bad looking
Pretty
car.
good.
But here's my thing:
Yep.
you're sitting there with your partner talking about buying an electric car, and you go, "We want a mid-size SUV style. Let's do it."
Yep.
Have a look at the Deepal S07, love. It's 53,900 plus on roads. Now I have a look at the Tesla Model Y. It's 55,900. It's $2,000 more to buy a Tesla. Who's choosing a Deepal?
Yeah, I don't know, but there are a lot of people that we've spoken to and are about to speak to who are not fans of Tesla for a certain person at the company.
Yeah, they hate Elon.
Yeah,
because the blokes are weirdos.
You said it. So that means Tesla wouldn't figure in that debate.
Yeah, I know, but
in a lot of households, not everyone, but a lot of them.
So I think you've got extremes. You've got the I'm only buying a Tesla because it's just the greatest electric car, and it is a great car. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a toad, all
I
those
used to
things,
drive
but
one.
it's still a great car.
Yep.
So 55,900. You've got those people that are just going to buy that. Then you've got people who will never buy one, so they hate Elon or whatever it might be. But it's all those people in the middle who are the next generation. See, we've plateaued in electric car sales because all the people that have taken advantage of all the incentives to buy a Tesla or whatever it is have done that. So we're now at a point where we've got to deal with these people in the middle who you can market to.
Yeah.
So they're not lovers or haters.
They're not.
They're ready to be marketed to.
They're open to suggestions.
Price has to be a consideration.
Absolutely, of course it is. But I think the other factor is the China factor. It's another brand coming out of China, and BYD's proven that that's not a problem, as have other brands like MG comes out of China as well. So that I don't think is the factor. I think you're right. Competing on price, especially when people are looking in the same ballpark. If you're in the same ballpark as a Tesla and all these other more established and more popular brands, then you're going to have to do some pretty clever marketing to sort of bring yourself to the front of that pack. It's interesting. Yeah. But I don't mind it. I think it's not a bad looking car.
I don't hate the look of it. I just struggle.
And it looks like it's going to be inside. It looks like how many of our listeners have said, I just like it because it looks normal.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want it to look like a spaceship. I want a normal looking car. That I think this would fit the bill as well.
Yeah, it's a little bit more spaceshipy than your basic Toyota.
Yeah.
It's a bit more BYD. A lot of buttons on the steering wheel. I think it does look like a Tesla on the inside, just a little bit more leather and stuff. Big screen in the middle
Trying
and whatnot.
to please
inch.
everybody.
I
It's a
think
little bit of this, a little bit of that.
I think it is. Yeah. I don't know. I'd be interested in people's thoughts. If you have a view on these up-and-coming brands, is price important?
Yeah.
Because if it's close, do you not? Am I wrong? Do you not surely just go for an acknowledged and known brand?
And you know
or
what?
are you cool with it?
It's a brand new brand, so you'd be thinking, well, am I going to take a punt on this?
That's right.
So you'd want to make sure there's fantastic after-sales
There's
service,
7-year warranty and
customer
everything,
service,
but are they going to be here in
of course.
7 years?
And we're going to hopefully get to drive it soon too. And in the coming
Absolutely.
months, we'll both get behind the wheel and give you our verdict as well.
Two blokes talking electric cars. Stay with us and get in touch. 0477 657 657. Two blokes talking electric cars. Happy to take your calls. If you got not a tech question, an electric vehicle question.
Tech questions.
Tech questions as well. We take those, but
That's
they're
on the
broadly
other
on
show.
different shows.
Yeah.
0477 657 657. We'd love to hear from you. Chad is on the line. G'day, Chad.
Hi, Trev. How are you?
Yeah, really good, mate. What's your world of vehicular transportation? You in an electric car, or are you still running petrol, mate?
No, not electric yet, and that was my question to you. I've got a Triton Ute, so it's my second one. It's a diesel engine. Never had an issue with them. Love them. Like I said, second time round with a Triton. Think they're great value for money.
Great
But
car. Yeah.
I've always had an interest in the electric side of things and how popular it's becoming. And my question was the Ute side of the electric world, which seems to be sort of popping its head up. And I went down and had a look at our local BYD showroom just last weekend and had a look at the Shark 6. And it was seriously impressive, I've got to say. It was a really, really good-looking ute, functional, big tray on the back. I love the idea of the hybrid. And, I was just wanting you guys' opinions on the BYD as a brand and what you know of the Shark 6.
Well, the brand is we've had great experiences with it, as have our listeners. It's very popular, and people seem to be happy with their purchases. And the fact that this is going to be a hybrid model, so is something that's probably attractive to that type of driver, because they either need to haul large things, drive large distances. So is the hybrid, is that attractive to you, or do you want it to be fully electric, or does that suit how you're going to use it?
Yeah, I like the hybrid side of it. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. I've done a bit of research on it, watched a heap of YouTube reviews, and all the reports are good, but you're getting up to like an 800k sort of combined range with two side of it, which is pretty good. My only slight drawback for me was it was only a 2.5 tonne braked towing capacity, which is no big deal. We have horses and we tow a float from time to time, but only ever with one on the back. Otherwise, we use our truck. But that's still, the 2.5 still falls into the category, and I don't need a towing beast. I do a lot of stop-start work around town, which the mechanics tell me diesels don't tend to love so much, but the electric side of that for me would be fantastic.
Well, it's fascinating, right? Because Ford put out a press release this week that said, just broadly summarising it, said Aussie EV ute buyers basically demand off-road ability. So I think that's them saying our cars are good off-road, good luck with the BYD. I think that's literally a shot across the bow. But I think what BYD will do is intelligently push their electric credentials, because, mate, the fact is that the BYD has far bigger battery and a far greater range than any of the other potential
far cheaper too,
plug-in hybrids. So your Ford Ranger is going to be a plug-in hybrid option, so you can literally power things out of the tray. All good. Toyota Hilux will have a mild hybrid option, not really a hybrid, let's be real.
Yeah.
And then there's LDV, who exist in the market with an actual full electric ute today, but they have announced this week, again, timely, last week for the time of the podcast going to air, that their next generation, it's called an e-Terron 9, is currently in testing in Australia. It will be both a diesel and a fully electric version. And they concede that they have sold only 100 of their current electric utes. But, and this is fascinating to me and why you're not the target for this, they say the people that are demanding these are mine sites and, work sites, not workers, because around a mine site, the thing's doing, a lot of time but not a lot of Ks, and therefore it can charge every night and do its job.
Course, yeah.
Whereas someone like you, Chad, you're needing the car to do the kilometres, get it done for you. So, mate, the hybrid's going to be the go. I think the BYD is going to be everywhere. They're going to sell, not in the Ranger Hilux numbers, but they are going to be one of the success stories of the 2025 vehicle range, I reckon.
Yeah, I agree. I spoke to a couple of the guys at the dealership, the finance guy as well, and he said they have been inundated with orders for this Shark 6. So I do think, like some of the YouTube reviewers say, it is going to certainly shake up the ute industry. And I agree. It's going to be a real success story. And I loved it. I thought it was very, very comfortable inside. The interior was amazing.
Beautiful fit out.
Just impressed. Yeah.
Did they give
the power
you
points in the back? So in the back of the tray, you've got three power points that I particularly probably won't use. I don't have tools and things like that, but mates of mine do. So they can keep things plugged in, and essentially it's a great big power source for them.
Did they give you any indication, BYD, when it would be, how long the wait would be for a model?
Yeah, I put down my deposit, which is fully refundable if you change your mind. It's $1,000.
Yep.
And for delivery approximately next March.
Next March.
So
March
it's not
25. Okay, so in 4 months.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
I think we're going to start seeing them in February odd, and they'll be on the road. And they're a big, bold. It's a very obvious thing. So I think it's going to go very well for them.
The Kia Tasman's not on EV, is it?
It's not EV.
Yeah,
I think there is a future plan for it to be plug-in hybrid or hybrid, but it's also the ugliest car ever announced.
You think that of all cars,
mate?
though.
No, it's a very select thing. Chad, your view on the Kia Tasman?
No, thank you.
Have you really seen it, Chad? Are you just backing up Trevor? Have you really seen it?
No. I looked at it for comparison value.
All right.
The moment I saw it, I went, no thanks. It looks like a car that a kindergarten. No thanks.
Good on you, Chad, mate.
Tell us what you really think, mate.
Your line's dropping out, so we'll let you go, mate. Enjoy the Triton for its last few months. Sounds like you could be a BYD owner very, very soon. And if you do pick up the BYD, we'd love to hear from you
again, yes.
because it's always great to hear from people when they've bought new cars, mate. Thanks for getting in touch, Chad.
Cheers, boys. Thank you.
No worries. Good on you, mate. What a legend. That's a fascinating thing for me because he's not at all considering the full electric version, but very tempted by this hybrid concept. And I honestly think Ford, Mitsubishi, Toyota, all the big players in that space. I mean, Kia probably should have come out with
at least
with
a hybrid
as the selling point for the ugly Tasman.
Absolutely.
I was on another podcast just this week saying, I don't understand. I think I might have said this here as well. I don't understand how the same company can produce a stunning motor vehicle like the EV9, and then the ugly beast that is the Kia Tasman. It's fair
what's this other
horrible.
podcast?
Just a bunch of idiots
stepping out on me, are you, mate?
talking cars.
Are we safe here, mate? We're all good?
They take the mickey out of me, and I go hard taking the mickey out of them.
I do here. That's great.
Yeah, it's a whole other story.
Different.
But yeah, the BYD thing, man.
Yeah.
As I said, don't think that I'm saying they're going to sell more than Toyota or Ford, but they will have an impact on the market.
Absolutely. You're going to see a few of them on the road.
And bravo to them for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shake it up, folks.
And I think good move too, not going fully electric with the Ute, because I think
do it when it's ready. The time will come.
Demands more out of the vehicle
than
a regular driver.
Two blokes talking electric cars. More from you next. I'm really glad the cameras weren't on me because I was doing the emu.
I was looking at my laptop.
I was on these.
That's the Egyptian. It's the Egyptian.
No, that's the Egyptian. I think it might be culturally appropriate now, but remember the Bengals?
You don't want to get cancelled? Yeah, I do.
It was something like this.
Yeah, walk like an Egyptian.
I just feel like we're in trouble.
Okay, we're good.
But anyway, I was doing the emu.
The emu.
Put your head
the pigeon or the pigeon.
Oh, it could be the pigeon. Yeah. I don't go to dance parties, so I don't know what the dances are called. I'm pretty sure no one's doing that.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty confident.
No.
Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. We'd love to chat to you. If you have a question about EVs in any way, shape, or form, 0477 657 657. Tim is on the line. G'day, Tim.
So are you, gentlemen? Great to be here.
Really good, mate. Where are you at in the EV journey?
Yes, pretty a bit of a freshie, only 2.5 weeks in that I've had a Mercedes-Benz EQB 250 Plus.
Wow.
And I feel like I'm a kid again.
Love it.
I reflect on some of a few things that, the advancements that have happened in the last 20 years and, the iPod and the smartphone and then Google Home and the sort of voice recognition to, give you information and do things for you. And now the EV. Just blowing me away. Yeah, just love it. It's amazing.
Your first EV, what were you driving before the EQB 250 Plus?
Mazda CX-9 is what we had.
Mate, you've had a solid jump up here, mate. That's a really good upgrade in many ways.
Doing very well over there.
Well, it's funny you say that because we were actually the torque converter went on the CX-9 and we did manage to get it fixed. So tip my hat to my mechanic there for doing that in a reasonably cost-effective way. But we did think, we've got to look at getting a new car in the next sort of year or two. And it all happened very quickly because I stumbled across, this video on Missed about novated leasing. And I sort of just went, I'll have a look. And I must admit, even though I'm kind of in the industry itself, I had these sort of perceptions about novated leasing. And then add to that the sort of FBT incentives and the just as it turns out the EQB 250 just beautifully priced just below that
right,
and you had to look at all the features and to your point sort of gone from a nice car to like almost a spaceship to me. So
it's your first Mercedes though, isn't it?
Yes.
Nice.
First Mercedes. So I must admit, when I was going through, talking to the wife because she primarily drives it.
Okay.
We really just rely on one car, and I said, did you know it only costs us X amount of dollars if you sort of looked at the Volvo or the BMW iX3, or the Mercedes, and her ears pricked up, and it's sort of that weekend we looked at all three and just fell in love with the Mercedes actually. So
I'm fascinated by that because I think it is one of those things where you go, you know what, this is a beautiful car. Some people, let's be clear, some people don't have that feeling for cars. Some people are just really happy driving a 20-year-old car and it's just an A to B. But I'm different. I think you're built different. You want to. I want to feel like I enjoy this vehicle that I'm spending money on, and I'm sure over the course of my lifetime I've wasted money on cars. No doubt. But I'm a car guy, and it's nice to feel that comfort and luxury. And mate, the Mazda's a beautiful car. Don't get me wrong. I love the CX-9, but there's a beautiful step up, and you know what? You bloody deserve it too. Sometimes you go, you know what? I can afford this, and I deserve it.
Yep. Well, that's it. The kids are sort of growing up, so there was a little bit more in the disposable income. And to your point, we've turned up to schools and netball courts and the like, and we've never had anything. It's sort of been a nice car, but not like the others. And we're sort of just etched over our sort of the big 5-0, both of us, and we sort of went, you know what, it's time to start living our best life.
Good for you.
We took the leap.
You might. I'm a Mercedes man as well, mate. I've got an EV as well, the EQE 350 I drive, so I'm very happy with that.
What are you not liking about the being an EV owner though, mate? What's stressing you out a bit? And I think what I've been saying to some people is, what's the thing you're not telling people?
Yes. Well, look, I've got to say, so you guys were talking last week about, being iced, and I went, what's that? And, obviously a car parking in the charging stations. Well, never mind that. I've got a bone to pick with our own fraternity, so to speak, because I was at the local shopping centre and 2 spaces out of the 6, where out of the 6 chargers there, were occupied by EV cars, but not charging.
Oh,
and
that's
it's sort of
frustrating.
like, what is going on? I looked at the
Yeah.
charger and went, is there something wrong with it? And no, nothing wrong with it. So,
So
had
had
a look.
they
There was a
finished
toad.
charging? So they'd completed their charge?
Who would know? How do you know?
Well, are they plugged in?
Well, there was...
They weren't
they weren't
he said.
plugged in.
They weren't plugged in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
they
wild.
weren't plugged in.
So,
So, that's one.
What do they think? It's like a handicap spot. It's
Well,
like,
I think that's a really interesting
exactly.
point. It's not an entitlement to the space because you
No.
own an EV. Now, Gary, who we spoke
Correct.
to a month or 3 ago, who ran and created the EV Owners Club for Kia, he sent me some data this week actually about, and just his apartment block, so it's not indicative of the society, but he said it's only the last couple of months where they've started to see, because their ChargeFox reporting shows when you get charged for overstaying. So if you've reached your 80% or your 100% and you stay, you get charged, by time, right?
Yeah.
And it's only the last couple of months that they've started
Idle
to seeing
charges,
that.
yeah,
So
they call
idle
it.
charges,
Yeah,
that's
yep,
it.
yep.
And I know Tesla does that.
Yes.
I think
and
that
rightly so. You shouldn't be hogging the spot.
and the thing is, if a charging company is charging idle charges, they can only do that if you're
If it's plugged in. Yeah,
If
I
you're
know.
charged, exactly,
yes.
exactly. So
Yeah, that's frustrating.
that got the, and then I did drive to Ballarat and it was fine because I can get there and back without having to sort of charge up. But that sort of counterintuitive notion of actually longer drives, the propensity that you're going to be travelling faster and yet that it's less efficient, that sort of just messes with your mind a little bit. But they're probably the 2 things that, if I was with a petrol car owner, I wouldn't be worried about. But,
would you be inclined to have a little set of cards in your glove box that says, "Hey, fellow EV driver, if you're not charging, don't park
Get
here."
out of here.
So
you know what? Yeah, that's an issue, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly. I must confess, I did sort of quickly looked up the on my phone to go, can
It's
I
an
put
EV,
these people in?
Yeah.
And,
you know what I would
anyway,
do? If I was you, if I came in that situation, Tim, I would open the Plug Share app and I would
Yes.
I would go
yes.
couldn't charge. So there's options: M charging, finish charge, couldn't charge, for example. And I would say couldn't charge.
Yeah.
2 electric vehicles,
Yeah,
and I'd
hogging-
give like a
hogging the
small
space.
part of the plate. I wouldn't give the whole thing away.
Yeah.
Hogging the
Yep.
space, disappointing or something like
Great
that.
idea.
Yeah, it is.
Great idea.
I think,
I'll do that next time.
did you say that was in a shopping centre as well? That spot?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
So,
how fast is that charge though? It is a slow charger, fast charger. What's the speed?
So one was a DC and one was the AC.
So
for the
you can get a
22
decent
kilowatt
charge
one. Yeah.
there pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. Like
Yeah.
when shopping centres put in spots, and if they're faster chargers, you know that in half an hour or 20 minutes you got to move your car again.
Yeah.
And so
Correct.
that's the issue. You think, oh great, I've got a spot for my EV, but your car's gonna be charged in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So you need to come
That's
back out
right.
there and
Well,
move
we
it.
did that. Amanda picked me up at the airport, me and Jackson up at the airport in their Kia. And we had to go to Marrickville for something. And so we stopped at the shopping centre at Marrickville. I'm like, we'll find a spot. And I went, EV charging. Let's, as in EV, the brand, pull in there. The car was at 75%. We did not need a charge
you got a
urgently. But I went, I'll take the spot. We're literally going down to get some apples or something, like and a pineapple, like not much.
Yep.
So I went,
Yep.
plug in, we'll charge. We'll definitely get to 80%, no dramas.
Yeah.
And we were in the fruit shop at the checkout when I got the thing saying you've successfully charged. So we were back at the car within 3 to 4 minutes of finishing the charge,
All right.
which I thought was a quite appropriate thing. And if there was someone waiting there, I would have gone, cool, we just finished.
Yeah.
We're all good.
Well,
But
some chargers
etiquette.
tell you the charge level of the vehicle.
oh yeah, they all do pretty much.
which
Yeah.
is good. Which is good. So what are your before you got the EV and now with your EV? What are your driving habits? Do you drive far? And so, what sort of mileage are you doing?
Yeah, so probably during Monday to Friday, my wife's, it's probably 20K a day, so it's not a lot. And I sort of catch a train to work or work from home, so that's not doing a lot Monday to Friday. But I must confess that even Friday night, I was just, something was on TV. I was sort of getting a little bit bored, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to take the car for a spin. So I got in,
Yeah.
whacked on the Apple CarPlay, pumped up the speakers, and just went driving around. And just because I feel so happy in it. So, and it's fun. So I guess I would never have done that. And then we did take it to Ballarat. So we don't do many long trips. So, we gave it a cruise up there, which was nice and fun as well. So look, probably, even though I've sort of said about, sort of 15, 16,000 Ks, with the girls sort of growing up now, it's probably don't need it as much, but it's just so fun to drive that I think that
Get in the
we'll
car.
probably take the opportunity and go places.
When you were looking for an EV, you mentioned that you looked at the BMW, the Volvo, Mercedes. Was Tesla ever in the mix or any other brands? Or
No. So Tesla probably, look, just a personal choice, but didn't want any of my money going to that way. So didn't look at that. And I did suggest to my wife, look, here's the top 10 listing, the Hyundai at number 1 and yada, yada. And Mercedes nowhere to be seen at all, to be fair.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I think the badge had a fair bit of influence.
It's got a lot of pull, that badge.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
It does. So that narrowed the pool a fair
worked
bit.
with
and
me.
as I say,
Well, good on you, mate. It's a really lovely call because you sound excited, you sound passionate about it,
and you're very happy with your purchase.
There's issues with the community which you've raised, and I think it's a really good thing to raise because I think people need to understand that we are in a we're in a startup phase here, folks. As customers, we really need to support each other in that sense, because until there's 50 chargers at every location, you can't afford to sit around. It's not a parking spot; it's a charging bay.
Exactly.
Good feedback, Tim, mate. Really great to hear from you, buddy.
Lovely stuff. Thanks, gentlemen.
Cheers, mate. Thanks for getting in touch. And you can get in touch as well, 0477 657 657. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
That's another episode of Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars in the can. Thanks for listening. Thanks for downloading. Please tell your friends, share with your friends. If they're haters, just send them the podcast.
Should we send them a loyalty card? How many people they can sign up to the podcast and they get free coffee or something? Or
where
you
don't
buy coffee. You don't buy coffee. So
where are you getting the coffee from?
I've got a loyalty card.
I understand the concept, mate.
I don't know. Is there some way we can get people's word of mouth to help us out?
Just tell people. That's all.
Yeah, tell people.
Why do we have to incentivize you?
Just do us a favour.
I'll tell you what.
Tell people.
I'll tell you what. If you don't tell anyone, I'm going to charge you double next week. And if you do tell people, I'm going to give you a full refund.
Exactly right. There you go.
How's that for an incentive, people?
You can't beat that.
Two Blokes Talking Electric Cars. We look forward to your company next week. And as always, if you want to get in touch, 0477 657 657. We'll see you next week.
Ciao.